Two.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Lighting Controls Podcast, live from the show floor at LEDucation. It is getting busier in here and things are heating up. We have our next guest for you, but before we jump into it, let me remind everyone this live stream is presented by the LCA, the Lighting Controls Academy.
And it's financially supported by the National Association of Innovative Lighting Distributors, or NAILD. Check out our sponsor for these live streams, RepSpec.ai. It is a powerful AI tool that is worth your time to check out. I've checked it out. It is really cool. Helps just generate a ton of content really quickly. So you should check it out, repspec.ai. But let's get into the conversation. So we got Kelly. Kelly, welcome. We just grabbed you right off of the registration floor. You haven't even seen the show. I feel like we should have like a before and after.
Right?
I don't think I'll be able to walk after.
Yeah, right, fair enough. There's a lot of stuff going on in there.
Seriously.
Like, what are you looking forward to checking out here?
So I've been hearing about a lot of new releases from, some of the manufacturers that I represent. So I'm excited to see what those are.
Yeah.
Because they've been keeping those close to the chest. And then also, just kind of walking around, seeing some new trends and what was new and exciting a couple years ago, if it's become the norm,
Right.
Or if it's dwindled off.
So like, what is one that was really popular a couple years ago that seems to kind of become normalized at this point?
Yeah, I would say wireless controls. I feel like
Totally.
it was kind of something that people saw as, it sounds cool. I don't know if it'll ever be fully implemented in the future or fully adopted. And I think over time, it's gained a lot of traction and adoptability in the markets, and a lot of manufacturers have kind of hopped on the bandwagon. So that's one of the things where, once upon a time it was new and innovative, and now it's kind of just what everybody's doing. So,
No, totally.
yeah.
It's one of those things, it's so scary at first, right? Because you're like, ooh, wireless controls. Like, am I going to have connection issues? Is this going to happen? What do I do if it fails? What if it disconnects? There's all those what ifs, and you need, for better or worse, you need a few of those case studies, and you need a couple of really good success stories for the market to really sort of start to adopt that. And it's not the manufacturers and the reps and the designers, it's the end users actually hearing that and seeing it and trusting it. And somewhat the designers too, right? Because if they don't trust it, they're not necessarily going to put it into their specs and into their design.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a good point. No way to develop best practices until you start practicing. You have to do mock-ups or you will mess up, and then you have to kind of test the limits in a safe environment. Don't take the largest project opportunity out there and say, yeah, I think that we can do this. Yes, let's do it.
No, I think that's sound logic and advice, because a lot of people are just so hesitant to try something new, and it's like, oh, which project should we do? And it's like, yeah, try the smallest project that you've got available. I mean, at least there you have a bit more control over what's going on.
Exactly.
And I think, with lighting controls, we are seeing smaller and smaller scale projects cropping up.
Yeah.
So, like, from your end, like, what are you seeing is a surprise in what's going on with projects?
Yeah, so me personally, I look after, a good portion of the East Coast. And what I'm seeing now is, because of energy code, once upon a time where you could get away with just toggle switches on the wall in a retail environment, doesn't matter in the far stretches out in the country, you have to implement lighting controls.
Yeah.
And so that's been a little bit of a learning curve for a couple different people in a couple different places. So that's something that's kind of refreshing for me to see, is like, okay, the code is actually being taken seriously, and it is actually being enforced, versus, okay, this is the blanket statement for this state or this county, and then it's going to, it takes some time for permit reviewers to actually catch if, the appropriate, practices are being taken.
No, totally, and yeah, I mean, I think that is incredible to finally see this kind of enforcement and follow through with all of the codes, because, yeah, I mean, like New York City, for instance, where we are right now, they're just implementing new code requirements, and everybody's kind of like, how are we going to meet these code requirements?
Yeah.
So.
It's certainly a challenge at first, but it's a good opportunity to learn. The different ways that you can utilize lighting controls, and you can make it really hard on yourself. You can make it really easy on yourself. You can just kind of add all the complexity to a project and not have the proper documentation to make it work well, or you can call people upward and say, this is the standard for a good lighting control submittal, or this is the standard for a sequence of operations chart. Just how do we make it clear to get across the finish line for permit and code purposes?
Totally.
Yeah.
What's the one little thing that you would love to see change in the next couple of years that you think could actually really drastically help, adoption overall, and then sort of to that next scale of lighting controls?
Yeah, so a couple things. That's a great question. So the first thing I would say, because I deal with, primarily being in the DC market, a lot of government projects.
Yep.
And the GSA has implemented kind of their recommendations and their standards for lighting controls, and on their recommendations there's always a provision for wireless lighting controls. But the problem on every single government job that I've ever worked on is, we can't do wireless lighting controls.
Yes.
And I point to this GSA publication from 2021, and it's still like, we still don't want to touch it, we haven't done this before.
Right. Yep.
So that's one thing that I would really like to see changed is whoever those key people are to understand those latest standards. And also, I understand that there's certain applications where it can't fit, right?
Totally.
SCIFs and higher security areas where there's no wireless anything across the board. I absolutely 100% get that, but a standard government project should be able to implement wireless lighting controls.
It would be more cost effective too. I mean,
Yeah.
talking about trying to save money on the government side, like it would be an easy win in that.
Yeah, and one other thing as well, with wireless lighting controls, not having to run all the additional Cat5 cables. If you're doing fixtures that are wirelessly enabled, not having to run those dimming cables, not having to set the additional junction boxes.
Right.
I would really like to see more contractors savvy to that information and bid projects accordingly.
Yep.
Because we've found that, not across the board, but a lot of contractors still default to bidding projects as all the same way.
Right.
Yes.
Whether it's a wired system, a wireless system, a hybrid system, it's this cost per square foot number, or they'll scale it out as if they have to pull all these cables. So I think that, reps and distributors and designers being more engaged with the contractors to help them understand. I've seen it, and I've seen it work. I just want to see it more.
Totally. No, well, thank you for joining us on the show. And if you want to find a way to streamline your lighting controls and lighting designs, check out repspec.ai. They're a great platform. Thank you for joining us.